Shoney's lingo is it's great.
Let's get after it.
I enjoy Shoney's lingo.
Jeremy? Yeah.
From a distance.
Yeah.
Whoop. My wife, Holly, calls Jeremy Wilson from Home Improvement. Yeah. She's
He's right over there. He's right over the fence.
Yeah.
She sent me a picture the other night, and it had a picture of Wilson's face, and she said, "This is Jeremy on the show." Touche.
He's right over the top of the dell.
Neighbor.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
Hardy ho!
You know what's sad is there's kids listening to the show that have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. That's what happens with young people.
You said you young people.
Oh, you're young as shit.
This guy. I like it. I'm fine with being made fun of because I'm young.
Babyface Nelson over there.
No shit, right? Yeah.
I still don't have rare beat.
Hey,
I know.
which I have a question.
Uh-oh.
This thing over here, what's up with the extra controls on it or the extra stuff?
I went
The
with,
girth.
I went with Big Girl. Yeah. Flowers told me to try it.
Okay.
Yeah, they do some recording at the house. He's got a studio in his house.
Dorian?
No, his brother.
His brother, Will.
Yeah. I didn't even know Dorian had a brother until
does.
the academy. Yeah.
He does.
And I met Will, and I was like, flowers? And he was like, yeah, my brother's Dorian. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
I would say they're polar opposites, but if you talk to Will, they're not.
No.
They're both deep thinkers, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and
They're
we'll
way smarter than I am.
Ride a crank.
Yeah, they're what?
Yeah, a prank.
Oh, I thought you said they'll ride a crank. I was like, what?
Nah, they'll let a prank go for years if necessary.
Yeah, they're long haulers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so I will tell you one of the best pranks I've ever heard with Dorian. Fred Gainey and Dorian had a thing going on. And Dorian put out on, golly, what was it? It was the old ad magazine that used to come out here.
Ooh.
Ad pack.
Ad Pack.
Ad pack.
And I'm not going to say that Dorian did it. However, it might have been put out there that if you called this number, there was some
Favors.
free tail. Because Fred put out on Dorian's number, there was a car for sale.
That car for sale has been multiple times on Craigslist. And, yeah. At 16, that happened a lot.
Yeah.
With Dorian.
In Clinton, we had this thing. It was on Oldies 1170 AM. Might I add you AM radio?
He can't even spell AM.
Right.
But there was they had this thing called the Old Country Store, and it was like a radio edition of the Bargain Trader, if you will. So I mean, people would call in and they would say, "Hey, I got this, blah 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 blah, and my number's blah 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 blah," and so on.
I got 7 goats for sale.
It's very much just like that.
Yeah.
So we would call in, and God bless, we'd come up with all kinds of mess, and we would. I mean, you could fax stuff in. They had a fax. The guy's name who ran it was Don. But you could fax it in. He would rip it off the fax and read it on the line. But man, we came up with some funny stuff. We put all kinds of things in Philip Miller's yard and chickens and you name it. There was all kinds of mess.
There's a fireman that used to work with us in this little place west of here. And back when you had the house phone.
Oh yeah.
Like a legit landline. And he was not married, but he might have been dating a couple of different ladies.
Right.
And he just happened that both, God rest his soul, both of them happened to have the same name. So we would sit there like, hey man, so-and-so called.
Which one?
Which one was it? I'm not sure.
That's outstanding.
All right, boys. So what y'all want you to fat on?
Oh man.
Let's get down to it. Let's
Probably should start with who you are.
Yeah.
Because there's, believe it or not, there's people that listen to this that are not familiar with our area, which is weird, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. But they do listen. So JJ Norwood, He's a BC with the big city of Wilmington, North Carolina.
It's bigger than you can imagine. We're taking over.
But it's a pleasure to have you on the show, brother.
Man,
It's been a long time coming, that's for sure.
Well, I appreciate it. I never thought I would be where I am right now.
That's cool. How did you said you never thought you'd be where you are right now? Where did the beginning start for you?
I couldn't become a golf pro.
I understand. I sucked at baseball. I love it, but
Yeah.
I wasn't good at it.
Just wasn't paying the bills.
Yeah.
I grew up right next to a fire station in our little town,
Nice.
and used to watch a fire truck ride up and down the road and do all that stuff. But I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the honor it was.
There was no lineage in your
Nope.
past, no
Nope.
father, uncles, no nothing that did fire service for you.
Nope. I was gonna go in the service, and I did the thing every kid does. I'm doing it. Your dad goes, "No, you're not." I'm doing it. No, you're not.
Right.
And finally, he said, "Well, I'm not paying for college." I was like, "Well, shit, I got to go to college." But I never knew it, and I dropped out of college 2 weeks after I went there. And a good friend of mine who rides a fire truck around here kind of got me interested in it. And so I've been doing it since 1995.
Damn, that's a good long run.
Did you start as a volunteer for
Yep.
Wilmington? Okay.
I've started as a volunteer, and I just got into it. And once it bit me, it bit, and she held hold.
When
That-
did
That
Go
bite
ahead.
is a funny thing.
it is.
Yeah, surely it's different for everybody, but like the first fire you go on or the first run, what was it? Like, what was that first, I got to do this?
Stupidity.
Yeah.
No. I'll be 100% honest
Yeah.
with you. I was a moron as a kid. I did not do good things well. As far as the fire service goes, I was pretty smart other than that. But the first fire that I ever went to was a training fire off Park Avenue. And I was gung-ho, ready to go, kick the doors in, let's bust windows, let's do all this crap. And that's when we used to wear 2216 masks, with low pressure hoses, all that crap. Well, we lit a house off, diesel, hay, all that crap, and I went charging up in there. No gloves, and my mask unhooked.
Jesus. Yeah.
That's who I was looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were about that close.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized right then that this isn't smart. I've got to pay more attention. So I kind of got a little bit more involved, trained a whole lot more. And then we had a house fire in, golly, it's not even... What do you got going down South College Road? You got Kings Grant. It was in Kings Grant. That's where it was. And I'm sitting there. House is burning. The roof came in on me. Ceiling came in. I got burned up. And at that point in time, I went, I ain't gonna get beaten. This is what I'm gonna do now. I want to better myself, and it's not about. I have this conversation a lot of times with a buddy of mine. It's not about the we. It's about the them. And so I literally got myself in a couple bad situations and said, that's it. Get better.
Yeah. That's a good way to challenge yourself. Yeah. You know,
It's a quick way to learn.
yeah.
Was there a person that you took to in the firehouse that you were volunteering at, that was just kind of a stand-up type of person that you wanted to model yourself after? Or is it just a whole crowd?
There was a couple of people. One of them being Keith Stoop. I used to sit there in front of Winter Park and hear, Bud, and he would hold a cigarette like this. Bud, let me tell you right now. But I remember that. I remember that like having a potato gun, shooting it at billboards across the street.
That never happened.
No, never happened. We didn't use Aquanet. We used WD-40. It's more powerful.
Damn, I was doing it wrong the whole time. I was an Aquanet guy.
But I got lucky. I also had friends. One of my best friends in life. He and I've met so many good people. But he encouraged me to go up to Fayetteville
For classes?
Yep. And I went to Fayetteville for firefighter 1 and 2. And I will tell you this: if you don't think I can jump, I can jump. Fran came through, and we were sitting at the parking lot of Bonnie Doon Fire Department. And this ain't no lie. Tornado came through, or whatever it was came through, and it popped the damn transformer. We were pushing a car out of the parking lot. It was about that deep in water, and I came about that high off the ground. But also, at that point in time, I learned. I will say I learned what it means to be a fireman, and I hate to use that F word. I hope it doesn't offend anybody.
We'll forgive you on this show.
Yeah, well, but that's what I learned. Watching those guys going to trailer fires, going to regular fires, washing the trucks, cleaning out the bottoms of them, doing
Fireman shit.
Doing the everyday crap. And I tell our new cats, guys and gals, I'm not smart. I happen to be in the place I am. But I look at it like this. If you're good at the salt and pepper shakers, if the salt's full, if the pepper's full, I got nothing to worry about. Because if you do that, you look at every other thing. You'll notice if your air pack is 4,500 instead of 46, because that's what I want for our people. I know it says 4,500. I want 4,600 because I want to give you that chance.
What was what's the time frame you went to Fayetteville?
95.
95. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. I was seeing how it correlated because I also went to Fayetteville for a lot of my fire classes, 1 and 2 classes, about a decade after you. But nonetheless,
thanks, Richard.
But nonetheless, that's pretty cool. We share that in common.
But I stayed at Bonnie Doon.
That's neat.
And I learned a lot there. If you ain't never heard a Claxton go off, whew, that'll turn you inside out. But it showed me what commitment is and professionalism is. And that's that's what I took back. And that's just what I drove from it.
When you got whoa.
Oh,
There we go.
hold on now.
Bruh.
She turned off on you for a second. Yeah.
Anyway.
He's got his deep 980 voice.
So once you got through in Fayetteville, did you immediately just come back to Wilmington? Did Wilmington sponsor you to go through Fayetteville stuff? No, so okay. So how did you get back to Wilmington once you got done with your experience in Fayetteville?
I just left there and came back and started at Cape Fear Community College and turned that into a 4-year school, which we all know it's a junior college.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I figured I'll try it twice. Whatever. It's good first time around.
Career student.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what I am. I'm a career student is what I am. But no, like I said, something just took hold. And having that ceiling come in and that roof come in on me, I wasn't going to get beaten. And I just learned lessons. And Wilmington opened up, and I was 20 when I applied.
Okay.
But you had to be 21. But you had to be 21 to get the job. But I was 20
Sure.
when I applied. And I got lucky, man. There's no other way. I would not be sitting here right now if I didn't get lucky.
What did you get hired off that first?
I did.
Okay.
There were 7 of us.
Okay.
Seven of us got hired.
that were under 21, under the age threshold?
We were all over 21.
Okay.
I got hired when I was 21 and 3 months old.
Okay.
21, 3 months and 3 days.
Okay.
And I got lucky, man.
Was there an academy process to follow this, or
I went to a 2-week process.
Okay.
And for all you fire service nerds like I am, if you look at the Black Dog filming process, that happened when my academy was going on. We heard it go on.
What is that? What's the Black Dog?
Black Dog was a movie that was being filmed here, and they
That
had
was the Patrick Swayze movie.
Get out of here.
somebody's a Swayze fan.
Yeah.
But no, unfortunately, they had a bad thing happen. But that was it. And that was part of my academy and part of it. And, yeah, it was very interesting to be there for 2 weeks because I was the kid that came through at 21 who was just a young kid.
Yeah. By comparison
standard.
to everybody else. Yeah. The baby.
What was the bad thing?
They had a fatality on Black Dog.
Damn. Yeah.
If they didn't have a fatality, I knew they had somebody very seriously injured. And there's somebody now that's working in a county away from us. That's back to the area, which is an amazing thing.
He was involved in that whole Black Dog thing, I'm assuming.
He watched you go down.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar, but it's kind of interest, that's
I
for
know,
sure. I'm
yeah.
going to go see now.
Yeah. I'm going to rent the movie first.
Yeah.
Just look it up.
Is that on Netflix?
Blockbuster Video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, do me a favor. Just rewind the DVD when you send it back.
Well, I don't know where to get those anymore.
Be kind, rewind.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I remember the movie gallery days. You get off me.
You young people.
Yeah.
You young people.
Yeah.
So progressing forward so we've got you into Wilmington Fire Department. Where was your first assignment?
My first assignment was downtown, Engine 7. And that was a good run. It really was.
How long were you there?
I was there for a year and a half. My first big fire was Fuddruckers, which is where 41st and Oleander is now. You have the bank there and Jones Square. Yeah, that's there. I had that. Then I got stationed at number 2. And I'm going to tell all y'all right now, y'all think you're tough. I thought I was tough. Driving 1976 American LaFrance 5-speed, you'll find out how tough you are.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job there, buddy.
We sat there. We left out of headquarters one day, and I was wearing this polyester jacket, which is, just Gauze jacket, fur collar. And the driver's like, "You want to drive?"
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I can drive. You damn right I can drive. Where's the keys to this thing at? So I hopped in it. I didn't know you had a double clutch. Rev the gears up, get the synchronizers in place, and by the time I got back, I was out of my jacket, out of my shirt. I was down to a T-shirt because I was struggling. I was trying to figure out how 1 goes into 4 and 3 goes to. Yeah, I learned a lot. I really did.
That's pretty cool, though. That it was just, hey, you want to go drive?
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing about it was, though, I thought I knew more than I did.
Had to learn the hard way.
I had to learn the very hard way.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there at 17th and Dawson going, and I mean, I'm just giving this thing hell. I mean, it is damn smoking. It's loud. And I'm over there sweating. I'm like, oh, God. Now, if you asked me to drive it today, I could sit there and flip gears left and right. Mm-hmm. But that was the thing I had. That was some selfish pride that I had to eat.
Yeah. Pride's a hell of a thing.
Y'all ask some damn deep questions.
So you've you've been lucky. I mean, you got started when Wilmington was still relatively young, per se. I mean, I get Wilmington Fire Department. It's had quite a big age gap here. So I mean, there's some time before you, but up into what we're in now, you've had a good time period with Wilmington.
I've been very lucky. There is. Have we always been perfect? No, we haven't. And I don't think that anybody that works at a fire department can say they've always been perfect. But we're good.
Yeah, you got a good department. You got some good studs on the
the
lineup.
We do, and I take pride in that because I'm born and raised here.
Mm-hmm.
And I take pride in the fact that I'm from here and raised here. And I hope that anybody who is from their own town, municipality, city, whatever, takes pride in that too. Because, we're good and we're bad. But I take pride in being what I do, who I work for. What made you want to get in it? What about you, Jeremy? What about you? What made y'all want to get into the job that I never saw myself get in?
Who wants to go first?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
It was an accident.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I was working at Krispy Kreme, fresh out of high school.
You hold on. You were doing what?
I worked at Krispy Kreme. Yep, fresh out of high school. I was going to Cape Fear Community College. I was going to be an electrical engineer. I was working towards college transfer credits, and then my brother and a friend of mine from high school started volunteering at Myrtle Grove. And they like, hey man, be fun. Why don't you come volunteer? It'd be great. Like, it was one of my friends, like, we were in ROTC together, so we kind of did like some kind of like paramilitary experience type stuff. And
You had some
yeah. So January 2001, Myrtle Grove accepted my application. I started volunteering, and 2 months after that was that Myrtle Grove Middle School fire.
I was there.
I was there for that. I was a fresh volunteer sitting there aching to do something. I ended up going on the roof to help with the trench cut that we had to do, that huge ass H trench cut that we had to do on that roof, that gym roof. I was in there with Chief Smith, or well, it was Captain Jennifer Smith then, going in there for that. But downhill from there.
I was there.
I dropped out of Cape Fear Community College after that and started working towards my fire certs.
I was at Myrtle Grove. That was
that was a mess.
Do you remember somebody standing on the back tailboard going, "All right, guys, we've got this taken under control"?
No.
Oh man,
I remember. I remember several of ours being like falling out in the middle of it. We were there for like 9 or 10 hours.
That was a big day.
Trench cut.
Yeah, it was a trench cut. You know the Myrtle Grove Middle School roof.
Yeah,
it's long. We did a whole trench cut on both sides. North. Up to down, and then the whole entire span.
Yeah, it was horizontal and vertical.
Yeah, it was. We tore that entire roof off.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were there at least 12 to 14 hours on that call.
I
was only a firefighter for 3 or 4 months.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah. In my captain process, the scenario was Burger King, and a couple of the people in the process trench cut Burger King's roof. You know who you are.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I did not say that.
Oh, I cannot wait to talk to both. I know 2 people did. I can't wait to talk to both of them. Yeah. Trench cut Burger King.
It takes that takes like half the county to do.
Yeah.
All right, so what you got? I know you're here for a reason.
Yeah, my story is it lacks any real good bang. You remember the economy crash of like 08 and 09?
All right.
So I was doing tree work full time, making plenty of money, had the big house and the whole deal, and the economy did its thing, and I was like, it'll be all right. So I tried to get through it, and then I was out of money, and things were tough. I was like, I need
to
a
find me
job.
a job.
Bro, I didn't know anything about the fire department at all. And I knew Dorian. So I applied, went through the academy. Truthfully, I had no intention I was going to ride out this economy dip, and I was going to bounce. I was going to be gone. So I got the job. My first time on a fire truck, running traffic to a call, was 1661. Yep, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm in trouble.
I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then we got some fire, and it was like, I'm definitely in trouble. So,
And it's funny you bring that up because that's the bad part about this job. That's the worst part. You see people when they lose everything they've worked for, their entire life savings, but it does create something in you. And the way I look at it is, I want to be better. I want to pull that roof faster or pull that ceiling faster. I want to try to save one bedroom instead of 3. And that's how it hooks you. That's how she gets you.
yeah. Yep, ran a few fires, and then I was hooked. The academy was good for me. It was long, 7-month academy. I don't know about this 2-week thing. That was being pretty crazy. Yeah.
Well, I was just lucky. I had 1 and 2 done. I had 1 and 2 hazmat, all of it done.
Yeah, I got hired off the street. It was the one time I think the county hired just off the street, and they
Yeah, it
gave
was
us
only like 2 times.
yeah, they gave us every certification except trench and
Golly.
confined space.
Holy cow.
Yep, they ran a big, long. I was a big part of your academy as well. So yeah, that was it. It was a lengthy one.
My
But
God.
good God, y'all came out packed, son.
Yeah.
All kinds of cards in the deck.
Certified with everything.
That's the
Yeah,
truth.
I didn't
They could do
even-
everything at tie their shoes.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know about this whole like going to Fayetteville or going like weekend classes. I had no idea any of that existed.
And I think that's probably a benefit for you.
It worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree? Because you're not trying to sit there and fight for this class, fight for that class. You're fresh and green and going.
Yeah, as long as that's your mindset of going in, then I think that's definitely the best way to be. Yeah, you didn't have any prior experience. It kind of worked out great. This system is all you've ever known. That's why you're so good at it now. It's because you don't have any outward interference from anywhere else. So it fits.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Outward interference. That I do think it becomes part of our world.
For sure. There's things we can learn, obviously, from all around the globe when it comes to, doing what it is that we do. But when it comes to particularly in specifics of your actual area that you're working in, knowing that and mastering that definitely will serve you better than trying to bring something else or implement something, off the wall per se. I mean, if it's a tactic or something like that holds some lividity and everybody else can learn from and possibly benefit our customers, then, I mean, it should be brought to attention. But
Did you just say lividity?
lividity,
He brought it to the table.
is that good?
That's
Okay.
pretty good. All right, so
Is that a word? Damn,
I thought
I keep
lividity.
hitting it with my foot.
I thought lividity was what happens with one of our patients, but never mind. Hey, so
I think that's morbidity.
Now, lividity is also a sin.
yeah. See, I was about to say yeah. All right, so what's yours?
Oh man, mine's not near as interesting. No, I got out of high school and nobody in my family's in the fire service. I mean, I'm a one-off generation type dude, but I worked for my brother-in-law who ran a gas company, and it just didn't really feel like a place I wanted to be. And I had a super tight friend that I used to run with back in high school. His dad was a fireman. He then walked in those shoes.
Use the F word.
Yep, fireman, firefighter, maybe. This was Jody Combs. He was a firefighter. He wasn't. He was a bad dude. But his son Josh, we ran super tight together all through high school. He was a couple years older than I was, which I have 3 older sisters, so I always hang out with older kids. I didn't have many friends that were my age. 3 older sisters, yes. So running with older people than me was a norm for me, which seems to still be kind of the thing. You know, all you old bastards, and here I am.
all right. So, all right. You open. Hey, just remember, you open the door. I'm gonna walk in.
So, I just called him one day. And I was like, "Hey, dude, this fire stuff seems kind of interesting. What do I got to do to?" He was on in Clinton, and I said, "What do I got to do to kind of get on?" He said, "Well," he said, "funny enough," he said, "we're doing an agility test and a hiring process. The next couple of weeks, why don't you come? Just try out for it." So I did. Went, and first time I ever put bunker boots on in my entire life was to run an agility test for the big town of Clinton, and so I did it and got hired. Immediately got shipped to Fayetteville. I mean, it was like day one. Cool, you got a job at Clinton, but hey, you can't do shit. So you're going to Fayetteville next week. And so they sent me through my 1 and 2 stuff.
So you went to Cumberland County just like I did.
Yep.
Fayetteville
Fire Academy. Yep. So it was everyday commute back and forth. Got my. At the same time I was going through the academy, I would fill in some part-time spots in the evenings and whatnot, and it didn't take long, maybe 2 or 3 shifts. And I mean, kind of like the conversation we're having right here. It's just, I was like, damn, this is cool. And then you got to run a call, and then you got to start the cool things of our job, the ups, the very, very high pinnacle of the ups. They just started to filter in, and it was just like what you said, man. I was hooked, and there was nothing else. There was no other profession that I wanted to be in. I mean, I didn't want to do anything else.
So would you agree when it grabs you, it grabs you?
Oh, God, it grabbed me. And the people, my gosh. Steve's heard me talk about Lee a bunch of times, but he was a massive influence in my early bringing into the fire service. But God bless, bro. He was just a character that I wanted to be around all the time. And the way to be around him was to go work. So I was at the firehouse, and then I would work for him with his landscaping business when I was off, and it was I mean, we were together.
He was a landscaper? He was a landscaper?
Yeah.
If he wasn't doing that, he's probably doing roofing,
That's right.
painting.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was with him all the time, and I just wanted to be around him, and he was in the fire service, and that's where I wanted to be. So, yeah, I was hooked big time.
And I think that's a hard part, because we get hooked on something that is such a tragic thing for everybody else. And we have young kids come in. It's like, I can't wait for you to go to your first fire.
Yeah.
But the reality is, when you have enough time in, somebody's losing their stuff. And that's not cool. And that's what I struggle with.
Yeah, the flip side of the coin when it comes to our job is doing what we absolutely love, what we train our asses off for, what we freaking love, which, I mean, we're not bullshitting anybody. When we go into work every day, we hope that's what happens.
There ain't no
but it's the worst.
There ain't no fireman worth his salt or her salt that doesn't want to go to a fire.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be that fire, I want to be there.
Yep. But the flip side of the coin is it is somebody else's mess. It is somebody else's stuff. But I just choose to flip that a little bit. I choose to flip that perspective a little bit different in the fact that I choose to take it as an opportunity for me to, it is the worst day of their life. Their shit is getting destroyed, but I have the opportunity to give that stuff the best opportunity, whether it be life, whether it be property, whether it be personal possessions, whatever it be, I'm
going to be the helper. I'm the helper.
That's right. I want to be there to serve that purpose, to give those things the best opportunity it can. So that's
statistically, stuff's gonna catch on fire.
Yeah.
So I want to be available to go correct that problem when it starts.
Well, and it's funny because I've always done the thing of prep myself the best, and hopefully, some days I do, some days I don't. Prep those others around me, that when it happens, we're on it. And we all miss days. We'd all do.
Yeah, everybody has an off day.
Everybody has an off day.
Sure.
Speaking of new people, do you mind?
No, absolutely.
Right now, there's a big push for advertising differently, like trying to get people to apply and diversity and all the words that they add to it. Put all that aside. How can we attract more people to apply and try to find more talent? In other words, I didn't know anything about the fire department. And now I'm here and I love it. It's a great job. I commit a lot of my personal time to it.
It's not a job. It's a profession.
All right. I'll sign that.
He got you.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying we have to stop looking at it as a job. It is a profession. It's a career. It's a call. It is a thing you are involved in for your life. It's not just something you walk away.
Yeah,
But
no, I like it. Yep. So my point is, what's your opinion on how we can get more people to at least look at this profession? Is it the department that's...
I'm not sure. I don't. I'm not sure how you find people to go into a career, profession, whatever, that is going to end up possibly costing you your life without a big ticket number at the bottom. We're not paying people $150,000. We're not paying people $15 million to become firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
And that inherently, in my opinion, is problematic. I'm not saying every firefighter needs to make $15 million, but you're going to be very hard to sit here and very hard pressed to look at somebody and say, "Hey, Steve, you see that building over there? Burning all over more than anywhere else. I want you to go in there." So I don't know. That's literally one of those. I don't know.
Yeah, it's low pay,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of reward to it.
There's a ton of reward to it. This job gives so much back that you don't know about until you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very hard to sit there and go, "Hey, man," or "Hey, y'all, come on and join."
Yeah. Emotional fulfillment is that's a tough thing to sell when you don't have any clue. The military does it greatly. They do it with pay. They do it with the VA loans and stuff like that you get. The extras that you get with just serving 4 years in the military is outstanding. So, I mean, there's still the same potential. I mean, you may go to war if that's, the job that you're chosen to do. But at the end of the day, the benefits of it is so great. And if you serve a short career, what I would consider a short career in the military, I mean, you retire with ridiculous benefits, great pay when you're out, but we can't combat that. And trying to sell this feeling that all 3-4 of us share, that's hard because it's not a tangible thing. It's an emotion that we feel inside, the fulfillment that we feel inside, but it's not something tangible. Money's tangible, right? Benefits, that stuff is tangible.
You definitely have to want this.
Sure.
You have to want to be a part of it. And that is a hard sell. What can I tell you that's going to make you want to do this? You're going to get paid X amount of dollars. You're going to work every other day. You're going to see some of the worst stuff in life. But I'm going to ask you to give me everything. And that is a hard sell every day.
It's a hard sell. You think some of the we talked about this a little bit before we went to dinner, but do you think that social media and stuff like that has a way to kind of help us with this? It has to be the way that we're going nowadays when it comes to recruiting new people in.
I think social media is it's a double-edged sword. It will ruin your career.
I agree with that.
It will. And the problem is we have people out there who use it as a benefit. Don't use the fire service as a way to champion yourself. Use the fire service as a way to champion the fire service.
Yeah.
Because
I can agree with that. That seems almost like a question of motive, though. You know, is the use of the social media in order to help kind of promote the profession that you're in, or is it to promote you personally? Because I find them to be two totally different things. Very, very different. I tend to use our platforms as much as I can to promote this show and the benefits that we do for this show. Unfortunately, we get brought into it a little bit.
But it's a benefit of a total circle. It's
Agree.
not a benefit of you and you
Right,
or him,
right.
even though he's not listening.
Oh, he's listening. I
Oh,
promise
yeah.
you that.
He's not listening.
Got those ears on.
He just
He's
crosses
always
our
listening.
eyes.
He's always listening.
But I had this conversation with a buddy of mine at 7:00 this morning because I was concerned about coming on here. Not in the fact that it was going to be a negative, but what to say, how to get an idea across. But there are people that will use social media as a way to champion themselves. And if you are a true fireman, firefighter, whatever you want to call it, that's counterintuitive. That is 100%, 1,000% counterintuitive.
I agree.
My job should be to build you up, to build you up, to build him up, to build myself up in helping each other. But I think you have people out there that's their passion. And you know what? I'm not going to knock them. That's their thing.
Yeah. Social media is a funny place.
Social media.
Strange.
Social media is a killer of professions.
Yeah, it's a strange place, that's for sure. Yeah, it's the only place where your out loud opinions via text don't get you punched in the face.
Right.
Dang.
Yeah.
What's the truth? I mean, you
it
can
is
say what
true.
you want, and there's no consequence to it. So that's fun. That's fun. You said you were talking to a buddy about how to get some ideas across. What ideas are you trying to get help in getting across?
That's a good question. It's a very good question. I know it doesn't always seem like this, but I am humble.
I never would have picked that to be a word I'd have used to describe you. A pronoun, if you will. Humble is not one of them.
You better fill that up.
Hey, let me help you out. I got you. Don't stop talking now.
That's a joke.
Oh,
Obviously.
I'm not going to stop. We are drinking ice out of a. I just want the world to know this. We're drinking ice out of a Lowe's bucket.
Of course.
I mean, I'm just telling you.
Our people's at Copper Penny next door. They always take care of us.
They do.
Why
but
buy an ice machine when you can get it from a bar?
but we are drinking out a 5-gallon Lowe's
Right.
bucket. I love
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Is it? Are we hurricane standard? No, that is something that I do. I stress about
What's that?
that. Thanks, friend. Mm-hmm. That people take me the wrong way, and I'm gonna be selfish in this one. Yes, I'm very confident in myself. You're confident in yourself, you and you, but I am humble, and I think that is a hard thing in the fire service. That if you're humble, but you're confident, you're gonna be okay. I want our new kids. I want them to be humble and confident, but I think sometimes it gets lost in translation. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I get accused of being egotistical pretty often. My wife is my worst critic. She'll be like, "You sound like an egotistical maniac when you say that, or when you portray that." It's just, and that's not my intentions by any means, but that's just the way it comes across to her. But I think that's important. I think it's important to have outward ears. I'm not a big person on other people's opinions, but they do
care
play.
about you care about what I
But
think.
they do play it. They do play. I absolutely care about what you think. Yeah, I care about what you think. There's a few people that I do care about what they think, but As far as the masses go, probably not so much. But there's that inner circle. Me and Steve have talked about it. Our circle of people that we trust, or people that we talk to, if you will.
The people you bring in this room.
Yeah, well, their opinions should matter of me, and if they tell me that the message that I'm trying to come across, or what I'm trying to do, is pure, the way I'm just delivering it comes across as not so easy to hear, or as egotistical. It sounds like it's coming from Matt Hoffman versus from a place of where I want the message to actually be. So that part I feel is important, but I understand what you're saying when you say it. The two things they intermingle, but it's easy for the lines to be crossed from other people's ears.
And very easy.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah, the everything sounds like it's coming from a great place when it's coming out of our own mouths. So,
well, it's kind of doing the job I do in a little place west of here. My view is this big. So that's my reality. And
that was the size of a windshield for
That's-
just
oh
just
my God.
just the
For
folks
those
listening.
listening.
Yeah, for the folks listening.
I hate these people.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a better stand for that.
Yeah.
No, I just
Yeah,
need to tell my
it's
foot to
gone.
quit kicking it.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's my foot doing it.
She gone.
It's my foot.
But it very much becomes your reality. What like you and I spoke about, and we spoke about at dinner. If you're on a roof and you're venting, that's your reality. My reality is what I see, and that's it. Full circle. I just think the we have to, as firefighters, come full circle, and we can't take it personal.
When you have that windshield view, you're on a fire. How much does trust play a role in, like we were talking about earlier, the whole,
Sure.
There's water supply, there's not water supply, whatever. But when you assign a company, is it just you're checking these boxes, or you're like, oh, that's engine, 99 or whatever. I know who's on that crew. I'm going to put them on this. Do you possess that?
My point, my thought, and my opinion is this: you get paid to do this. I support you 1,000%. I don't care who it is. You showed up. You got your, and what I tell our new people is, you got 2 arms, 2 legs. You're above the age of 18. You're an adult. I look at it like that, and I look at that as I look at our officers and our people riding in charge. Trust you 1,000%. It does, and that's the good thing now about the interagency work.
Mm-hmm.
You show up, hey man,
You've got an engine in holding, so you put them on the job. I got you.
I'm not gonna. We had a job the other night. The captain said, "I want to vent." Okay. I'm not going to tell you how to vent. I'm not going to tell you where to vent. You're a professional. That's your role. And that's how I look at it. It might be, it could be problematic sometimes, because this guy doesn't do it the way I want to do it, or I would have done this. But you know what? When I'm looking behind that windshield and I'm sitting in the safety of those vinyl seats,
Right.
who am I to say anything?
I think what you're saying there, that resonates with me, and it resonates a lot with our message, and a lot of the questions that we've had for a lot of other leaders that we've had sitting in that chair right there is, where does the at what point does the tables kind of shift from, you know where I'm going with this, right? With the you start on the truck and you're the go-getter and you're the person who command is looking at her and trusting, and then you shift those gears and you become the person in command. Whereas, you just said, who am I to say, whatever. But on the flip side of that coin, if shit goes bad, you are the man that everybody's going to be looking at. So where does it seems like these.
No, I'll own that. I'll own that. I'll own 1,000% of that, because I'm a leader supposedly, and a learner.
Okay.
So in watching what our companies do every day, every other day, one day a year, I learn. And so in doing that, I have to take responsibility for it, because at the end of the day, it's mine. If we go out and burn 7 houses down today, tomorrow, whenever, I have everybody that's above me has the right to come up and say, "What were you thinking? Why'd you do that?" But it's my job to accept it. And I think sometimes people are unwilling to accept the responsibility, because it's tough. It ain't fun.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the fall guy.
That's horrible English. It ain't fun. But at the end of the day, I asked for this position. You didn't ask me to do it. Nobody at the little joint I work at asked me to do it. I asked for it. It's on me.
How long did it take to get used to the going from company officer to a battalion spot? I would imagine, I haven't been there, but I would imagine you're, like you said, wanting to do it this way or wanting to see this done that way. How long did it take to sit back and just trust you're assigning this spot and you're going to trust it and let that person do the job?
I don't think it took me very long at all, because I was given that opportunity, or I was entrusted with that. And I feel that if I don't trust you, or
Jeremy,
haircut, or you, then am I really, quote unquote, a leader? Am I doing what I need to do? Because I'm going to tell you, and it's just been one of those years, leadership is not fun. But it is a quick, very quick cycle and a quick learning curve. But when you're in it, you learn so much and you become so aware.
What's your thoughts on the folks who aspire to be in that position? That you want to, even this could be on the company officer level, from driver to company officer, where they in our department, I think y'all do as well in the city, but you allow people to ride up and whatnot like that. If they get to that position, or they get the holy blessing of being able to ride up, and it turns out that they're not so great at it. Whether that be a personal decision, which I think if it was a personal decision, then this would be an easy question. But it just comes out to be where they're not great at it. Do you just let that person go on and never promote them, and you just kind of keep letting them ride out this thing till their interest grows out of it? Or do you have a hard conversation and say, look, I think you need a little bit more mentorship, or you need to, maybe we need to find another way to put you under another company officer or something like that. Maybe their teaching style is not jiving with the organizational goals, whatever may have you. What's your thoughts on that? Because I have strong opinions about it, but I want to hear yours.
I can't tell.
All right, so I'm not going to speak on anybody else other than me.
Sure.
Have I failed? Yes. Am I willing to own the fact that I failed? Yes. It's something I've done. I have just missed the ball on certain things. Last year, I did not do a good job last year. And I'm willing to own that personally and professionally. But did I grow from it? Yes. So that being said, I had to sit there and look at myself and go, hey, man, you didn't do a good job. And it hurts. That is a very hard conversation to have. Like we talked about. Am I proud of myself? You're damn right. Did I want to hear somebody say, you didn't do a good job? Nope. So how do you have that conversation with somebody else? It's very open and very honest. And there's no table slapping. There's no fist pounding. It is very much one thing, peer to peer. Hey, brother, you need to straighten up. You need to get your shit together. Get your shit together. Get your shit together. And if we respect each other as peers, truly and honestly, what are we going to do?
I'm getting my shit together. I'm kind of scared now.
Well, your shit's all over the place. But,
That's a fact.
But that's... I had to sit there and have that conversation. Or had that conversation had with me. And it was not fun. Because, again, I'm awesome. I'm the best. But, and I tell our new people this, there is nothing wrong with failing once. You get one shot. You fail twice, that's on me. 3 times, 4 times, I'm not helping you. And I'm not going to give you any, you're getting nothing from me after that. You're getting no quarter. And I think, unfortunately, that's where we've gone. We don't want to have those conversations. Hey, man, you're a driver?
Yes.
You're a captain? Mm-hmm. Let me ask you. Well, you're a paramedic.
He's everything back there.
Yeah.
He's a paramedic, whatever. My question right now to y'all is, if we're on a fire scene and I do something that you guys don't think is right, would you call me out?
It depends on
Nope.
the severity of it.
No, answer the question.
I am going to call you out. It either
right.
depends on scene or back at the firehouse.
Nope, on scene.
It's going to have to be. I like
That's a lead.
preserving the fire scene, and then back at the firehouse we'll talk.
So now you're at a spot of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
That's leadership.
Yeah,
That's
I would echo that.
And that is a tough spot to be in. That is not fun. It is. Whoever told anybody it's fun to be in charge lied to them. They lied to them 1,000%. It's not fun.
I think a lot of people have I think their optics at looking at bugles in our specific industry is skewed bad. I think that I don't know that they fully understand the weight of the responsibility that comes with wearing that collar brass or that insignia.
You know what I think about a lot is Dave Hibbins sitting here.
Yep.
He preserved the firehouse. He said, "Do not take shit back to the firehouse. You do it on scene, and then when you get back to the firehouse."
Well, he didn't say do it on scene. He said he did it on the way back.
That's right.
He
That's
said
right. In the truck.
He said he would pull his engine over to the side of the road in a heartbeat, and say, "All right, what did we do wrong? This is what you did wrong. This is what you did wrong." And they would hash that shit out right there in the truck on the side of the road. And when they got back to the firehouse, that was a place of sanctity, and they didn't taint it. They did not taint it.
And I'll tell you, I've got a buddy of mine who's a MARSOC guy. He'll remain nameless. But he always told me this: praise in public, punish in private.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we have to be willing to make those hard calls, because it is not fun for me to call you out.
Of course not. Yeah.
But reversely, you have to be willing to call me out.
Well,
And that's not fun either. That's a very brash thing to have to do, and nobody wants to do that.
I think everybody in this room could probably agree, but the highway of trust that should exist should allow for the traffic of accountability to flow both ways. Mm-hmm. I should be able to gripe up, and you should be able to gripe down, and I mean it should be able to free flow like that, just like it is a friendship, just like it is a conversation that we're having at this table or at dinner. Now, obviously, when you get into, if there's some kind of HR or specific incident where we're not talking about fireground tactics or we're not talking about on the job stuff, then, you know, you got to be a damn boss when it comes to that.
And sometimes people, they don't want you to be a boss. And I'll tell you right now.
Sometimes people want you to be a boss all the damn time.
Well,
Right.
I'll tell you, there are certain times I don't want to have a boss.
Yeah.
I don't want my boss to be a boss. Respect him, love him, have nothing but admiration for him. But there are certain times where he's going to come down on me and I'm going to go, whatever, man. I don't want that. But you know what? He's the man. And
You got to say, all right.
when it comes to leadership and it comes to all that, it's just, all right, let's rock on to the next thing.
Heard.
It's it ain't fun, and that's why we talked at dinner. I try to influence the younger kids because, like we said, they are younger than us. But there are things we cannot tell you about this profession. There's things we cannot. We cannot open your eyes to it. But there's things you need to be aware of. Very, very, very big things.
Speaking of advice to the younger ones and those big things, I have this thing that I share. Do not mess up a pediatric call, and don't mess up stretching the line to wherever I ask you to. But what's your like that big thing you're talking about? What's the new person that's coming on, and you're gonna say, hey, start here. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna get exposed. I can't tell you everything, but start with this.
I can't prep you for that. I can't prep you.
Yeah, not enough words.
That is an event that is unfair, but it happens. I can teach you how to stretch lines. I can teach you how to pull ceilings. I can teach you how to do all that stuff. I mean, man, I'm just lucky. I've had a few really bad days, but I can't prep you for that. And I don't want you to go through that. Because that is heavy. That's heavy.
Is there anything we can do in the maybe in our academies or in our onboardings as we recruit and as we get new folks, and to kind of the training folks, you know, they'll stress that it's, you know, people die in our profession, people do get hurt in our profession, you lose buddies. I mean, that's reality, but until it happens to anybody, nobody really kind of understands it. Is there anything we could do to kind of aid in this? Do you have any advice? I mean, any ideas? Anything we can do? I mean, it's hard to sit in front of a class full of brand new people who don't have a clue what it is that we do, who have never experienced it, that you can say, blah. You know, I've had the worst, shittiest time of my life. That goes back to this whole thing of being egotistical versus not. I mean, how do you portray this message that means so much, and it is reality, to where it doesn't come across as fear tactics or egotistical, or saying, hey, you know, I'm Billy Badass because I experienced this and you haven't? Is there a way that we can work on that to make that better?
That's a very good question. That's an awesome question. I don't know. All I can tell you is, personally, from what I've experienced, it's there's no answer. And I know that's a hollow, because if you want to, we'll go into it. You want to delve into it?
What's it?
That day?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about a specific event here.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you were willing. I'd like to hear about
Yeah.
it.
I'll tell you. And it. Heath and I went through LP gas school together. We went through a couple classes. We did the combined city-county class. I will tell you, the hardest thing I've ever heard was I watched him come down. Actually, I wasn't there. There's a firefighter with y'all that was in the SCBA room. Said, hey, man, David's not doing well. And I said, well, what's up with that? So now you go back to the arrogant, the egotistical.
Right.
He said, I didn't want to stop training because he didn't want me to say anything about it.
Let's put some context to the story for those who don't know. What were y'all doing that day?
We were doing live burn training. We were at the North Campus. But, I mean, I remember it. There's very few things I remember in life because just sleep depth, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we were burning, and we went to Subway, came back, had a half long sandwich, came back, and then it was about probably, I don't even know what time, 2:30.
When y'all got class started back, it was about 2 to 2:30.
No. When I was aware that something bad was going on.
Right.
And one of my friends said, hey, man, this guy doesn't feel good. But he doesn't want to say a word to you about it. Because he just doesn't want to put you in that spot. So that is something that I carry every day. That's and I'll follow on with the story, but that's something that I carry with every day. Arrogant, whatever you want to call it. That's a reality. All right. So move forward. This guy doesn't feel good. A firefighter gets a bag out of a truck, and I literally look at this gentleman, and I'm looking at him just like y'all are looking at me, and I watch him dissipate.
And that was Captain David Heath.
That was Captain. That was Captain Heath.
Yeah.
That is. That's a tough thing to deal with. That's a tough thing to live with because, and I'm not taking it and using it to my advantage by any means, but I mean, when you hear one of your buddies go, hey man, he didn't say anything about feeling bad because he didn't want to disappoint you. But I'll tell you, sitting there for a minute and a half, or what felt like an eternity, and somebody else going to get the bags, that's a long time because you see the fear in somebody's eye. And I hope that nobody ever sees that fear.
Yeah.
If this whole thing, this podcast, this 2-hour thing, whatever it goes for, if there's one thing I get across, I hope nobody ever sees that, because it will affect you forever, and it's affected other people, and that's just.
Yeah, as silly as it may seem, I remember exactly where we were the day when that happened. That was October 14th, 2013.
Yep.
And I think it was like 2:47 when the call came across the tones. Across the.
Because I made the call.
You sure did. But myself, Nick Buckner, Shaq, we were all on shift. We weren't the responding units, but that's why I said, as silly as it may sound, we were actually at Northside Baptist playing volleyball. But there was a county fire admin vehicle that went by, and then we're like, what is going on? So we immediately turned radios up and heard you making that call. And yeah, it was dude, I wasn't there by any means. I know everybody that was there, but God, it was a bone chilling moment for sure. And then the events that happened after that, that was a devastating time for us as a fire service family in this community. It was awful.
It was something that if you told me I would go through it, or we had anybody around here go through it, I'd say, nope, we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, called Kevin, called everybody else, and I will say this now, the follow-on to that. So let's move into the mental health aspect after that. So we loaded David into the fucking body bag.
Right.
Put him in the fucking car. Donnie had us go get the flag, which I support all this. I think it's I think it's warranted. Took him to the morgue. I know you've loaded bodies in the morgue. That's what we did. And I was working that day, and Steno was like, "Hey, bro, I'm telling you, the fucking worst thing I ever had to do was make the call. When Stoffel goes, is it one of yours or one of ours?
Yeah, I remember that.
I say it's one of yours.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I'll tell you all this, and not because I'm proud of it. I was the first one that laid hands on him, and the last one that laid hands off him.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But we loaded him in the morgue, and then went back to 17 and wrote a report. And gentlemen, I'll be 100% honest with you. I never want that for you. I was a dumbass. I was a moron. I thought I was stronger and bigger than anybody else. Because you know what? I hate to say it, I'm JJ. I'm just going to go home and, Steno's going to work for me, and I'm going to go home. And I went home, had 2 Guinness and a bottle of Jameson. What did that do for me? Now, moving past that, I'm divorced. It probably had to happen. Didn't help it. But when it comes to mental healthness and toughness, we have got to be aware of it, because I talked to a buddy of mine today from Pineville, and he and I are part of this small group. We've gotten to see it, and I don't want anybody else to see it. I don't wish it upon you. I don't wish it upon you or you, because it sucks. And moving forward now, I've become part of a group to help push mental health awareness along, because it took a toll on me. I mean, you've seen dead people, but we've all seen them. But when you witness it firsthand and you're that close to it, it is very personal. And I tell our guys and gals, if we're training and you don't feel good, tell me. Because, David had a AAA. His heart split wide open. nothing I could do. Nothing anybody else could do. But it still lives with me. And I'm very lucky. I have some good friends who are peer support people, and we talk. And I'm going to go in July give a story about this very same thing. But it does. It does stick with you.
You mentioned a group that you're a part of. Is that just a small personal group that you're a part of, or is that like an organization or something that you can?
It's First Responder Peer Support Network.
Okay.
It's not tied to anybody else.
Sure.
But it is one of those things. When Chief Koval passed away, when Mike Garner passed away, went up there and spoke with other people, other first responders, and like I said, it becomes one of those things where you're in it enough, and there comes a time where you have to open your eyes up and go, I don't want you to see it. Or if you see it, I don't want you to be affected by it like I was. And that goes back to I'm the best guy here. I'm the arrogant guy. And opening yourself up you become very vulnerable sometimes.
No doubt.
I mean, I don't know if you have. If you have, Jeremy, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have, but it
I think the biggest message that can help is that you're not alone.
Right. Yeah.
You're not alone. We've all seen it. You're not alone.
And
do you have any ideas about how we can make this this talk more a thing that's, I'm not gonna say easy because it's not easy. That's a bad word to choose.
It should be. It should be very easy.
Talking about difficult things when it comes to an alpha profession is never going to be easy. That's a hurdle that we're never ever going to be able to jump ever.
You sure?
Man,
I can. Come on now. I'm easy to talk to. Come on now.
Yeah, I almost have come to the conclusion now that it's an insurmountable task. You can't get rid of our alpha mentality, but there has to be a way to educate almost to where it's normal. You've heard me talk, Steve. You've heard me talk, Jeremy. I know you have, but I talk about the new normal a lot. You know, when it comes to the fire service, change is painful until it's the new normal. The AAA versus the flat lay. It's all painful.
It's hard to say new normal.
Two things firemen hate in the world.
We've all seen it. We're all there.
What are the two things firemen hate?
Change
and the way they were.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, going back to what you were talking about, in this case, and I'll use this word because I hate this word, aggressive interior attack. I hate that. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. But this is exactly what that is. You have to be willing to open up your mind and open up other people's mind and have that tough conversation. Because that's an aggressive conversation. There really is. I mean, Steve, what's the worst thing you've ever seen? Don't answer. But right now, you know what it is. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to openly talk about it?
No.
Are you?
No.
So here's the deal.
I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say no.
But here's the deal. I told y'all about one of my worst days in the world.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say no. I would be, and I'm pretty sure I have in the past. But yeah, that's a difficult thing to ask somebody. I mean, it's lanes of trust that we have to establish, and that's difficult.
But we also have to look at this. Sorry, my cord's getting tangled up.
First time you've had that happen.
Yeah, I know, right? But you brought up the T word.
Trust.
Yep. How many days have you and I worked in the fire station together?
None.
Do I trust you?
I hope so.
You?
I think there's a level, but I don't know that you 100% trust me like that.
If I am truly a brother, if we want to use that word and we toss it around a lot, if you and I are brothers, trust.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
That's a solid point.
Yes.
I want to fight you on it.
Yeah.
You want to fight?
I want to fight you on it. Yeah, but I don't disagree.
No, but when I say that, what I mean is, and you can want to fight me, but we come from different agencies, different worlds. Hell, you live in what, DuPont County?
got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Somewhere up there.
Perfect.
Yeah, somewhere west of here. But there's nothing saying that tomorrow night we will not be at a job. And guess what I have to do?
You're supposed to have to trust me.
I have to.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to.
You're supposed to have to. That's what you're
I trust you.
expecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're supposed to have to trust me.
And so I think when it comes, especially to mental health and all this other stuff, which is very, very important, we have to trust each other. And we have to get rid of the outliers and kick that stuff aside.
Outliers.
Ideas.
What ideas?
No, I say no. Just that we are. You're your department, and I'm my department.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter when you put a friggin' turnout coat on and a pair of bunker boots. We're on the same team.
Yeah, one of our big goals here in doing this show in general is to make the mental health talk and the mental health, I call it mental hygiene a lot because it's just like brushing your teeth. I've used that analogy a bunch of times. But it's to make it as common as putting on bunker boots and a coat. Is that it's just a conversation that we all have, and it's just like everything else. But
Well,
it's a hard thing to teach.
I don't think it's teachable. I think it has to be learned or experienced because
Experience. That's a good. That's an interesting. I like that. Keep going. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I have a very good friend of mine. We talk about putting rocks in a bucket. What happens when that bucket gets heavy? You start tilting. And you're probably going to edit this out.
Probably not.
Yeah, for some reason, I've just been blessed with going to all the bad shit that happens in Wilmington.
I feel you.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, man, I burned down Paradise Cove and fucking had a mass shooting that same night. Ran Mercer after Florence, watching a mom and a dad and a baby. You know, I'm coming from a point of literally understanding and being a part of it. And I don't want anybody else to have to be.
With that being part of our job, you've mentioned that several times that you don't want anybody to have to experience it. But it's almost, when it comes to just the examples that you gave of fires and just tragic incidences, I mean, those are almost inevitable in our service. That it's going to happen eventually.
It's going to keep happening.
It's going to happen, and then
it is. It's going to happen, and we're going to have more hurricanes. We're going to have this.
well, not even that bad wrecks, dude. I mean, just these are,
Well,
for lack of better terminology, these are normal calls. I mean, a bad wreck is a. I mean, we have I-40, we have College, MLK. I mean,
I had the wreck on 421 also.
Yeah, these are.
I just, you know what? That's awesome. I'm glad you brought that up. You've opened my eyes up, and I love it. So I can't prevent you from having this, but what I hopefully can do is prepare you for what's coming, because you never know what's going to happen. There's no concrete list of, oh, May 12th, all right, January 7th. There's none of that. And I want to make sure that we prep everybody who comes into this profession that it's coming, because that's the one thing we can't tell you. We can't. We can't prep you for that. And now, as a old dog who sits on the porch,
You're old, that's for sure.
oh, I know. I'm still good looking.
It's your perception.
My perception is my reality. All right.
That's McConaughey.
I love that
Okay.
guy.
Anyway, but now, as an old guy who sits on the porch, it's my job to make sure I tell those kids coming in, this is what you're going to see. This is your reality. I can't prep you for how you're going to feel about it, but this is what's coming.
I think that's a logical message. I mean,
It's fair.
you're working in a profession that is surrounded by bad shit and stuff that other humans shouldn't have to witness from other humans. And it's reality.
All right, so I'll turn it on you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, here we go. All right. All right now. What would you do if you were in my place and you've seen all this? How would you prep the new generation and make and grow awareness?
May I?
Absolutely.
My hope is that someone who's been through the shitstorm a couple of times.
Oh, and mind you,
Yeah.
I'm not asking for kiss my ass or any of that stuff.
No,
I'm
no.
just being 100%.
Yeah.
This is 100 honest.
Yeah.
This is what life
Yep,
is.
I'm with you. So for the new folks that we're going to warn and say, hey, this stuff's coming through, the experience, be it you or Hoffman, whoever, we've handled things appropriately on some events, and we've handled things wildly inappropriately on other ones. We've talked about a few of those.
All right. So answer me a question.
Yep.
What is the time y'all mishandled it? And don't pick out specific people, but what'd you miss?
The thing that I immediately thought of when I said we mishandled one, we had a terrible car wreck, and we left a unit on scene for the whole duration. So it was hours and hours and hours.
Yep.
So
Gotcha.
this company, I wasn't smart enough to know before I experienced it, but now if I were in charge, 2 hours in, I'd have pulled that company and then brought another one in, and I'd have rotated it, spread the exposure.
Spread the hate.
Yeah, in doing that, you're thinking, all right, well, great, now you're exposing too many people. That's right. It's
you're
degrees.
limited.
Yeah, it's degrees of separation. So I would have done that, but that's just one scenario where we could have done better, but we didn't know better. But now we do.
So I'll tell you, I've told you I failed. I failed as a battalion chief multiple times. And I'm going to give you all an example. Mercer Street or Mercer Avenue.
Were you battalion chief during that?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
You didn't see my white helmet?
Dude. I didn't know. Dude, yeah, wow. I didn't know you were BC during that.
I was. Myself and Chief Stevenson we were working opposite because we had, a whole lot of people out there.
I came to you that day.
Yep. You saw it. Mm-hmm. What'd you see?
We got there a little late.
That's right. That's right. You were there because you were the
with the Indiana Task Force.
Yep.
Yep.
You were the liaison.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you see?
I met you when we arrived. We took the task force leader and the engineer and one other person over to try to figure out. It was a massive tree on this house.
Yeah.
And the mom and the baby were still inside, and it was time to come up with a long plan. Everything that was tried.
Was tried.
Yeah, it was tried. So it was time to come up with some other ideas.
And what was our idea? Our idea was with the dad. What? We were gonna
take that foot. Yeah.
Yep. And luckily, we didn't have to.
Yep.
But those are the long end things that when I pulled up, I never would have thought that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to sit there and look at two companies of guys and go, you got to go. Much like you were talking about. You've been here too long. And when I told them to leave, they were broken.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally heartbroken.
You made the right decision, just from my point of view.
You know what? I made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of y'all would never know this, but I went to the other side of the house after Phillips was hooking at the tree,
mm-hmm.
and I cried my eyes out.
Yeah,
I get that.
I cried.
Yeah, I'll back that you made the right decision. It might not seem like it, and even hearing those guys say now,
I was trying to save them.
You did
from what I am.
Yeah, and you did. Yeah, that was the right call. None of us want to leave the scene that we're attached to. None of us do. You don't. I mean, none of us do. I mean, you're committed to the scene, and I mean, you've already established this. No matter what the situation is, this connection with it, and you don't want to leave that. None of us do, but it's. I mean, it's the right decision to make. To me,
and it might be, but at the end of the day, it's just one of those weird things. You got Lester Holt across the street, and you're the big man. Like, you're the guy who, hey man, it's you. And that is the toughest thing that ever happens. It is. And I don't want anybody else to go through that. They're going to go through it. Mm-hmm. You might. But if you listen to what I say or you listen to my story, maybe it makes it a little bit easier.
Well, if nothing else, it spreads awareness that, I mean, just like Jeremy said, you're not by yourself in these situations, these stories.
And I know he's been through tons of it.
Absolutely. So I think the benefit of folks sharing these stories is, I don't even know if we have a way to measure that or put it into a class or anything like that. Just the fact that people are sharing the stories is what's so relatable to everybody else.
Well, I'll say this. If we don't have any other paramedics, county guys, us guys.
I
like it.
Us guys. Mm-hmm. Take their own life, which we've already had.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're winning. We are winning that fight.
I agree.
I feel like saying everybody knows what a hypocrite is, right?
Sure.
In that scene, if I was one of the crews that you were relocating, like, all right, you've been on scene too long, I'd be mad at you.
They were.
I would want to see it through, and I totally understand. But at the same time, removing myself from being a part of it, it was the right decision. I think everybody can see that once they pull back a little bit and look, and it's like he was looking out for us.
They were so mad at me. They were. They wanted to barbecue me. Mm-hmm. And I get it. That's the funny thing. See, y'all have never seen me on a scene. Like, if I was the old fireman, we'd be going to blows. But now that I'm at this point, I have to look out for people that need looking out after, because I don't want them to have that on their conscience. But yeah, they were, man, I can name you 7 or 8 people right now that are ready to crucify me because of that. Mm-hmm. They wanted to see a job fulfilled, and I can't blame them. But we kept them there. Indiana Task Force 1 did awesome. Mm-hmm. They were amazing, and we got the mission accomplished. But it was not fun.
That was a great group of guys. Indiana Task Force.
Yeah. And I'm going to have Jeremy pour me another one real fast.
I got you.
So we go to the bad side of mental health, and we look at the dark side. I will tell you this, and I'm sure it'll be on one of these damn photos you take.
Keep that mic about a fist from your face, bro.
Sorry, man.
That's all right. Take it with you. You can lean back. Just take it with you.
Right.
All right.
Just take it with you.
All right. I'm sure that, we've talked about enough bad stuff. Let's talk about some good stuff.
I like it.
And this is probably...
Jesus Christ.
He's a bar slinger. I like him.
Let's see if he's a paramedic like he is a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
Did it spill?
No, it did not. It was excellent.
Yeah, shut up.
God, there's a little less country we've ever heard from.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. One of the best times and one of the most, I'm not even sure the word, happiest days I've had is when I was able to go to the Bahamas after Hurricane Dorian. And I got that literally because the little place I worked for.
Jesus Christ.
I know it. That's all right.
Little place I worked for.
Yeah.
And a little place west of here, or east of here. But we got to go there and do basically mission work. And I don't think I've ever been happier in life in the fire service other than that. Now, saying that, I love what I do. My job is amazing. I love what I do. But that made me proud to be who I work for. Because we got to mix in with other firefighters from other departments and go to a place where we had very little stuff, but we got to add in. And that makes me happy. And that's what this shirt is.
Did you go with an organization over there?
I went with the little place I work with and another place that's south of here.
Okay. Is there a way?
Is there a way to go there now?
No, I'm trying to give him a shout out. Sounds like a good thing.
No, it was between a combination between us and Carolina Beach.
Okay. So it was just the two departments collaborated together and sent y'all down there, or was it? I mean, was it union derived? Was it a different organization? There's several organizations that do stuff like that.
No, it was. I'm not sure who was. Well, it was. There's a guy and his wife who live at Cadillac Beach.
Okay.
Carolina
Beach.
Yeah, sorry. But they had a house in the Bahamas.
Okay.
At Elbow. And their house was wiped away. And that whole place was just
they got
destroyed.
shit on. Yeah, bad.
Kind of like what's going on today. I mean, it's horrible in Illinois. Or
right.
Kentucky,
yeah,
Illinois,
yeah.
all of them. But we got to go down there and make a difference.
Yeah, I know the union sends folks. They just sent folks to New Orleans, or was it Texas? Don't get me lying here. Louisiana. Okay, so yeah, down there.
He has such a smooth radio voice.
Dude, you can't touch that guy.
You know
because he
what?
doesn't
You know
talk
what? Those union guys came to my house at Florence. And
That's
passed
right.
my roof. Those guys were the heart disaster, the heart 911 were fantastic.
Well, I'll tell y'all right now. Kevin McDonald's house.
Mm-hmm. It was
correct.
Yeah.
I threw his entire
we did a
life.
lot of work there.
I threw his entire life out on his front porch with the Heart 911 guys. And I've known Kevin for 20 some odd years. But doing work like that is very fulfilling.
I agree.
But it was good being down there and doing that. And this was a shirt trade. And the guy's like, what the hell's Wilmington Fire Department Truck 1, Engine 1?
Oh, shit.
I was like, it's a little place I work at. Asshole.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man. When I showed up there at the house and they were already at my house. I had been on for 5 days at 17. We'd already been through the massive floodings that we went through, like being up for 40 plus hours before I took a nap. And then we showed up to the house and they were there. And it was just exhaustion hit me, but I started crying. And they finally just looked at me and just said, "Suck it up. What are you doing? It's time to get to work."
You had some of the FD&Y guys up
yeah,
there.
they were the FD&Y guys. Yeah. I tried to talk to them about Ethan, but I'm just like, oh, man. Suck it up. What are you doing? Get to work.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Ready to go,
No doubt.
You start dragging limbs.
And that's the thing that when we talk about brotherhood, we talk about, whatever we all have together. That's what's missing. That's what we cannot put I cannot put a dollar amount on. I can't. Jeremy, could you put a dollar amount on that? How much did that help you?
Oh my God! I mean, they patched my 83-year-old neighbor's roof just because her son-in-law. I mean, I look out for my elderly neighbors, and I just happened to go over and start talking to her, and she had leaking in her roof because they patched her roof. She wasn't a union member. She wasn't paying dues. They were there to help union members who pay dues. They helped my neighbors, who they didn't care too anything about. I mean, they didn't pay dues. They didn't owe me anything, and they filled up her generator, just so she would have power. They filled up with gas.
And so, if there's one thing we take away from this, this is what the fire service is. Not even brotherhood. Not when you belong to something, you belong. If you want to get out, get out. But this is what you're a part of now, and you got to be willing to give back because that's what it's about.
It's like a biker gang.
Yeah.
Minus the
killing, and it's minus the killing.
It's
and
like Yellowstone. You got to get your brand.
Yeah, more
right
giving
there
and less killing. Yeah, for sure. While we're talking about the good things,
I'll tell you right now.
Oh,
he's branded.
shit.
He's branded. Make sure the camera gets that. Oh
Yeah.
shit!
It's in there.
You can kiss my ass.
You got it on my sides.
And you know what? I'm proud to be branded. I am proud to be branded. There is no other group in the world I want to be a part of. And I hope that there's no other group in the world that the three of you gents or anybody listening to this wants to be a part of. Because if you're not in it, you're not in it. And I want people that are in it.
What are as we tie this one up? What's some of the things that we're doing good nowadays? You started to go down this road a minute ago. I want to continue on it. What are some of the things that we're doing good in the fire service now? It's so easy for us to get wrapped up in things that we're doing wrong. That's human nature.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What are
we've
some
got-
things we're doing great?
Interagency cooperation, interagency use. You know what we're doing?
Tell me.
We're doing this.
Yeah.
Talking.
If you would have told me 25 years ago there would be county firemen and
City fireman.
people that work west of here,
Yeah.
City of Wilmington fireman.
if you'd have told me that, I'd have said, probably not going to happen. But we're here now. We're bringing up mental health. We're bringing up interagency cooperation. We're bringing together stories. I mean, the talker over here has just, I mean, he's just dominated the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we're doing. And we are growing beyond leaps and bounds. We just don't know it.
It's hard to see from so close, but you're right. There's been a lot of growth.
There's about a lot of relationships made. It seems just we were at Safer, and it wasn't a your department, my department thing. It was I mean, God, I don't know how many departments were represented across the state during that 5 day, however long we were there. It seemed like an eternity. They were there incubating COVID, but
Right?
Well, did y'all have the first shot or the booster? I mean, what y'all got going on there?
Hey, a shot of whiskey. Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you.
But there was a lot of folks. I mean, there was a lot of folks there, and it didn't seem to matter. There was a lot of different department T-shirts being worn, but none of it mattered. I mean, we were out in the evening times, we listening to the pipes and the drums, following them around the city,
Just doing dumb stuff.
dude. None of that mattered, and that's awesome. I mean,
Fire
we're
service.
doing that right for sure.
So you asked me what? That's what we're doing. We are the smallest county in the state, and we're getting it figured out.
I like it. I like the smallest county being the footprint for big things to come.
Right.
But the thing about it is, we have to be diligent, and we have to be broad in our strokes of how we approach this. We have to sit there and go, hey man, truck 17 pulls up, the officer on it is in charge. That's the man or the girl, or I shouldn't even say that. That's who's in charge. It doesn't matter jurisdiction. A fire is a fire. Let's get it knocked out, because I don't want to see something happen to you, or something happen to him. And the only way we make that happen is if we get on top of it and we just accept the fact that it is what it is.
I agree. I agree.
You gonna hit him with the magic wand?
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, shit.
You do it.
So, Hoffman's got this thing that he does.
Whoa, that sounds so weird.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you gotta pretty much make it weird. Yeah. So you've got a magic wand, and you can fix the fire service, or not fix. Let me rephrase.
I was going to say,
You can do one thing for the fire service, not fix. There's nothing wrong with fire service. One thing, you can do one thing for it. What would you do for it?
And this is not for the city of Wilmington that you work for, or New Hanover County Fire that we work for. This is on a bigger stage.
Mm-hmm.
The fire service as an industry.
Or a profession.
Ooh, yeah.
you need to read The Men, the Mission, and Me by Pete Blaber. He's a Delta guy. And I know everybody wants to be, and that's what, everybody wants to be fucking super. Everybody wants to be Delta. Everybody wants to, do all that shit.
No, just Andy Owens.
Yeah, no shit, right? Fuck off, Jeremy. Asshole. No, everybody wants to be that. And yeah, there is a place for that. But The Men, the Mission, and Me is a great book about how you can't always be at the front. And I spoke to a buddy of mine who was MARSOC earlier, and I edit that out, please. But he got treed by a pig.
As in like a pig? Okay. And you want me to edit this out?
Yeah.
No, I know no. Keep this in there. Keep this in there. No, he was doing his op and testing, and somehow just fell off course and fell asleep. And next thing you know, he heard this noise, and he started running, and he got treed by a pig. And so my jam now is don't get treed by a pig.
I like it.
Because what he thought it was a bear. But actually what it was a mama pig and a baby pig. And he was in the mountains of North Carolina. So that's what I'm trying to do now. Our conversation at dinner, I'm trying not to get treated by a pig.
Makes sense.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Andy Owens got a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always
Andy Owens, Jesus. Andy Owens, go find a new job.
Which one?
Yeah, no shit, right? No, but I will be honest with you, fellas. I appreciate you having me. I cannot thank you enough. I know I reached out to you earlier. We've spent time on Firegrounds. We've spent time on Firegrounds. We've spent time. This past week has been a tough one for me. But I appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It makes an old dog feel like he matters.
We definitely matter, brother.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm glad
Well,
come on.
you can stop kissing my ass right now.
I don't kiss ass. Sorry.
Oh, it's a small ass. It's not very big. But, yeah, that's where I'm at, man. I hope you gentlemen know you are gents.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, JJ, it's been a pleasure, my brother.
Yeah.
Look at that smirk on his face.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, man.
You just wanted to buy me a Philly's cheesesteak, and that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Copper Penny serves them up right.
Nah, dude, it's been fun, dude. Yeah, we'll have you back again. For sure.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, man, I'm an open book. That's all I am.
We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for spending your time with us.
Nice.
All right.
All right, man. What's up, gang? It's Matt from Primary Complete. We've been getting a lot of questions from folks wanting to know how they can support the show. Honestly, it's crazy to us that people are even interested in this. But to answer the question, there are several ways. The biggest way is whatever platform you choose to listen to the show, rate it and leave a comment. The more 5-star ratings we get and comments we get, the more our show is exposed on these platforms. Another is just talking to your friends. If you're sitting at the firehouse kitchen table and somebody shares a situation or something they're going through, and you can remember a guest that we had or a past episode they may benefit from hearing, just suggest it to them. Lastly, if you feel so inclined, there's a donation link on the Primary Complete podcast website. We can't possibly say thank you enough for all the love and support that you have sent our way. It's humbling to say the least, and we are continually grateful.